First off, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to those elders and apostles out there from Great Millstone who teach and rule well. A lot of respect to you brothers out there on the highways and byways preaching this truth around the four corners of the earth. And salutations to the hopeful elect that you guys may be sealed soon. And hopefully by the mercy and grace of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, all those brothers and sisters that's in the truth, all the elders and apostles that's been teaching and ruling well, hopefully we part of elect. With that being said, this is your brother Dawaba from the branch of GMS here in Chicago, coming right back at you with a little lesson. And as you see on my phone screen here, I got ABC News. And you can look at the title. It says, New Fears of Railroad Strikes After Union Rejects the Deal. After Union Rejects Deal. I'm going to let this play. And I got another video I'm going to play with Glenn Beck. And he's talking about this labor union thing. And I think brothers might be really interested in hearing this one, because this is about DoorDash and Uber. But before I let both of them play, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit up here and get a scripture real quick. And the first scripture I'm going to sit up here and get is just Isaiah. And then I'm going to go and play the video. This is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. And hey, these unrighteous decrees that they're coming up with, the unrighteous decrees with the labor unions talking about, hey, how they're hurting them with the days off, the times that they got to use, the times that, them taking time off, working 12 days straight and all sorts of other bullshit that they have to do. And that's not even talking about what they're talking about with this union thing with the DoorDash and this independent contractors. So with that, man, hey, all these unrighteous decrees, man, they trying to crash the economy so they can bring in a new world order. But with that, let me go ahead and let them play.
The strike after one of the biggest track maintenance unions rejected a deal with the railroads last night. A strike could cause major economic consequences. Senior national correspondent Terry Moran is in Washington with the latest. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, George. The workers have spoken and they have rejected the deal brokered by the Biden administration just last month and announced by the president himself in a Rose Garden ceremony. 57% of the workers in the nation's third largest freight rail union, that's the Brotherhood of Maintenance of Way Employees division of the Teamsters, said no to Biden's deal. The president of that union declaring in a statement, railroaders do not feel valued. The workers are demanding better working conditions. In particular, they want an end to what they call draconian sick leave and attendance policies, which they say often force them to choose between taking care of themselves or their loved ones or risk losing their jobs. Now, two more big unions, the engineers and conductors, are set to vote on this deal. But there's already been a November 19th deadline set for a new deal. And this morning, the White House is out with a statement saying, in part, the president remains focused on avoiding a shutdown and, quote, pledging to support the parties in their efforts. The stakes here are so high. If those efforts fail, the nation could see its first major rail strike in 30 years, right in the middle of the holiday season, dealing a devastating blow to the supply chain and to the economy as a whole. Micah?
Terry, that would be really, really devastating. Thank you for that.
So I'm finna sit up here and play the other one with Glenn Beck real quick.
In 1939, an international organization headed by John D. Rockefeller decided to put...
they like to talk about choice.
Okay, so Uber, DoorDash, plunge in the stock market as the Labor Department proposes gig worker change. What does this mean?
So I wrote about this in The War on Small Business. This is one of those things that sounds really nice in theory and is absolutely terrible for economic freedom. This is basically taking California's AB5 law, and we know that California is, the stomping ground, the place where they test every bad idea that they want to take national. And they basically said, if you are an independent contractor, that's not really going to work for us anymore. We are going to need you unless you have your own business entity and start running yourself like a business entity. We are going to need you to be an employee. And that creates all kinds of issues, not just for Uber and Lyft. They like to sell it as we're going after the big guys, but really for 32.6 million small businesses and the 53 million people who want to have flexible work. Because as a small business owner, for me to have to bring somebody on when I might only need them once a month during a busy season or whatnot. Now I have to make them an employee. I have to pay for insurance for them. I have to pay their portion into Social Security. It may screw up my 401k plans and my SEP plans and all those kinds of things, because now you have people who, weren't employees that are employees, and it just trickles through your business. I, as a small business owner, can't afford that. These bigger guys, they've got access to capital. They've got big human resources departments. They, even though some of them are fighting it, some of them love it because it shakes out all of the competition. And then from your standpoint, it takes away your economic freedom. They like to talk about choice. Well, what about your work, your choice?
So I'm going to stop it there so y'all sit up here and see what she was talking about. Here it is. You got the railroad workers, and with a November 19th deadline to get some type of contract. And then now you talking about this labor department rule, which could destroy, your independent contractors, your Uber Eats, your DoorDashes, your drivers for pizza companies, your drivers who get, probably who do certain things for companies, independent contractors who drive for certain other countries, and the list can go on, so forth and so on. But this could be an economic disaster for a lot of people. This could destroy a lot of jobs, so it might be something really that, brothers just want to pay attention to as time goes on, well, especially with the Uber thing, the railroad strike, hey. It's like your brothers, the railroad strike and everything else. Hey, man, I'm hoping everything crash. I want everything to just go down. I want this devil just to start being crazy, But with that, let me sit up here and go to Micah. Two and one. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it's in the power of their hands. And when you think about these unrighteous decrees, these unrighteous mandates, these stupid rules and regulations that they're coming out. Here it is. You got Biden sitting up here talking about, hey, we for the railroad workers. We want to work with them and do this and do that. It's all bullshit, man. They trying to crash the economy. They trying to sit up here and fuck up the labor force. They're trying to do everything they can to bring in a new world order, the digital currency, to get people to bow down. Because when you got to depend on big daddy government, guess what? You're going to do whatever you say, And a lot of people are going to bow down. See, the elect ain't going to bow down. But a lot of people are going to bow down. And you're going to have a lot of other people, you're going to have a lot of these good old boys, a lot of these Bible, these Christians, so-called Christians or whatever they want to call themselves. You're going to have a lot of blowback from them, But a lot of people are going to go with it. And all this stuff, man, everything is crashing down, man. Everything is crashing down. But here it is. They always sit up and talking about, hey, this is a good thing. We're looking out for the people. And there, you know what? Therein lies with, let me go to, I think I had it, Ecclesiastes chapter 12. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee in a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. And that's what's happening. Hey, these motherfuckers speak sweetly. Hey, Biden talking about we for you. Here it is. They sitting up here coming out with this union law talking about, hey, it's better if you work for an employee and all this other stuff. Not understanding that these small businesses are not going to be able to take on a lot of employees. They won't be able to afford to pay for your 401k. They won't be able to afford to pay for your insurance. They don't make that type of money, That's why they hire independent contractors, because they could pay you a certain amount of money for you to just do a job. And so just guess what? If they do sit up here and enact this or vote this in, it's going to destroy a lot of jobs. Uber, all these, a lot of jobs. So my whole point is, and it's going to crash those small businesses, and this is what they want, you know. So it was just something, man, just to take a look at, man. I was sitting up here, I was looking at that, and I was like, wow, you know, hey, this devil is coming, man. This devil is true. You know what? Since I keep saying that, hey, might as well get it. This devil has a short period of time, and he is coming. He is coming. This is Revelations 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down into you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And all these things, hey, we want you to crash the economy. We hoping that you crash it. I'm hoping you crash it now. I want you to crash it tonight. You know, we hoping that you do all these things, because the quicker you do this, the kingdom is coming. So you will crash the economy. You destroy the labor force. The railroad workers don't bring in the food, where all this other stuff, you know, where the famine comes, where you can't get diesel. All this stuff is beautiful, you know. Things like this could be those moments that could be the catalyst to bring in all this stuff. If all this happens, just think about a railroad strike. Just think about them sitting up here voting this thing in for independent contractors not to be able to work anymore unless they sign on to somebody. All this could crash a lot in just a matter of just a few moments. So, you know, hey, we pray that this devil, hey, go ahead, do what you're going to do. The quicker the better. But with that, hey, that was just something through the Spirit. I just happened to be looking at those videos. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to those elders and apostles out there from Great Millstone who teach and rule well. A lot of respect to you brothers out there on the highways and byways, preaching the streets of the earth. These salutations to the hopeful that you guys may be sealed soon. And with that, I always say, stay prayed up, brothers. Pray for each other, because we're almost up out of here. So with that, I'd like to say Kwam Yasharella and Abad Ball. Shalom.